Recent geopolitical risk analysis has raised serious concerns about Canada's economic outlook in 2026, particularly related to instability in the United States, Canada's largest trading partner. The analysis suggests that Canada may be among the countries most exposed to political and economic disruption south of the border. Combined with slowing employment growth, rising unemployment, and shifting labor demand, this forecast underscores the need for proactive planning across the employment ecosystem. For job skills stakeholders, this moment presents both risk and opportunity. Governments, employers, job seekers, and employment service providers all have a role to play in strengthening workforce resilience and ensuring that people remain connected to meaningful work during uncertain times. This blog examines the current labor market context, explores potential risks ahead, and outlines concrete actions each group can take to prepare and respond effectively. Understanding the current labor market landscape. Canada's labor market is showing signs of strain, though it remains far from collapse. Employment growth has slowed while the labor force continues to expand. This imbalance has resulted in a higher unemployment rate and increased competition for available jobs. Full-time employment has grown modestly, but declines in part-time roles have offset these gains. Many employers are hiring cautiously, particularly in professional services, technology, and retail. At the same time, healthcare, construction, and some public sector roles continue to experience steady demand. This mixed picture points to a labor market in transition rather than decline. Job opportunities exist, but they increasingly require specific skills, credentials, and experience. Workers without access to training or career guidance are at greater risk of prolonged unemployment or underemployment. Wage growth has also softened in several industries, reflecting employer uncertainty and cost pressures. For job seekers, this means longer job searches and the need for more deliberate career planning. For service providers, it means supporting clients through more complex and competitive pathways back to employment. Economic and geopolitical risks that could impact jobs. Canada's economic reliance on the United States remains one of its most significant vulnerabilities. Political instability, trade disputes, or policy shifts in the U.S. can quickly affect Canadian industries, investment decisions, and labor demand. Export-oriented sectors such as manufacturing, transportation, agriculture, and natural resources are particularly sensitive to cross-border disruptions. When demand weakens or supply chains are disrupted, employers often respond by delaying hiring, reducing hours, or implementing layoffs. Small and medium-sized businesses face additional challenges. With limited financial buffers, these employers are less able to absorb economic shocks and may need to make rapid workforce adjustments. This can have cascading effects on local labor markets, especially in rural and industrial communities. Investment uncertainty also slows job creation. When businesses postpone expansion or innovation due to economic risk, fewer new roles are created. Entry-level workers, newcomers, and youth are often the most affected by these slowdowns. These risks highlight the importance of building a workforce system that supports mobility, reskilling, and rapid reemployment. What the federal government can do to prepare and support workers. The federal government plays a critical role in stabilizing the labor market and supporting workers through periods of change. One of the most important levers is investment in skills development and retraining. Programs that support apprenticeships, mid-career transitions, and foreign credential recognition must be expanded and aligned with current labor market needs. Workers displaced by economic disruption require timely access to training that leads directly to employment in in-demand occupations. Training initiatives must also include wraparound supports. Income assistance, childcare, transportation, and career counseling are essential for enabling adults to participate in retraining. Without these supports, many workers are unable to take advantage of available programs. Improving labor market information is another federal priority. Job seekers, employers, and employment service providers benefit from accurate and timely data on hiring trends, skills shortages, and regional demand. Enhanced forecasting allows individuals and organizations to prepare before disruption occurs rather than reacting after the fact. Federal leadership on inclusive employment is equally important. Ensuring equitable access to employment for Indigenous peoples, newcomers, racialized communities, persons with disabilities, and older workers strengthens the overall labor market and reduces long-term reliance on income supports. Finally, efforts to diversify Canada's trade relationships can help reduce economic exposure and protect jobs. While the U.S. will remain a key partner, broader global engagement supports stability across multiple sectors. Ontario's role in building workforce resilience. Ontario has a significant influence on Canada's employment outcomes and plays a central role in workforce development. Employment Ontario services provide critical support through career planning, job matching, training referrals, and employer incentives. These services must remain flexible and responsive as labor market conditions change. Frontline feedback from service providers should inform continuous improvement. The move toward integrated employment services presents an opportunity to reduce fragmentation and improve outcomes for job seekers. Success will depend on clear accountability, consistent service standards, and strong collaboration across the system. Ontario can also strengthen sector-based partnerships that bring together employers, training institutions, and community organizations. These partnerships help ensure that training aligns with real workforce needs and that job seekers can move efficiently into sustainable employment. Youth employment requires focused attention. Young people are often the first to experience the impacts of economic slowdown and the last to recover. Investments in paid work experience, co-op placements, and apprenticeships can prevent long-term career scarring and support smoother school-to-work transitions. How employers can prepare and lead. Employers are not passive participants in labor market change. They are key drivers of workforce stability and innovation. Investing in employee upskilling and reskilling allows organizations to adapt while retaining experienced workers. Internal mobility reduces recruitment costs and improves employee engagement, particularly during periods of uncertainty. Inclusive hiring and retention practices also strengthen organizational resilience. Employers that value diversity and equity benefit from broader talent pools and stronger problem-solving capacity. When workforce reductions are unavoidable, employers can demonstrate leadership by providing transition supports. Outplacement services, career coaching, and skills assessments help affected employees move more quickly into new roles and reduce the social and economic costs of job loss. Collaboration with employment service providers and government programs further enhances workforce planning. Employers who engage early are better positioned to anticipate skills needs and access available supports. Job seekers, preparing for change and opportunity. For job seekers, economic uncertainty can be stressful, but it also underscores the importance of proactive career management. Focusing on in-demand skills and occupations improves employability. Healthcare, skilled trades, digital services, and infrastructure-related roles continue to show resilience and growth. Lifelong learning is no longer optional. Short-term training, micro-credentials, and employer-sponsored learning can help workers remain competitive and adaptable throughout their careers. Networking and career planning are equally important. Building professional connections, seeking mentorship, and accessing career guidance can open doors in a competitive market. Engaging with employment service providers early can significantly improve outcomes. These services offer personalized support, access to training opportunities, and connections to employers that job seekers may not reach on their own. Employment service providers, strengthening the system from the front line. Employment service providers sit at the intersection of policy, labor market demand, and individual career journeys. Their role is increasingly strategic. Using labor market data to guide service planning allows providers to set realistic goals and align clients with viable opportunities. Data-driven approaches improve job matching and reduce time to employment. Strong employer partnerships are essential. Providers that understand employer needs can create talent pipelines and design training pathways that lead directly to jobs. Service providers also play a critical advocacy role. Their insights into system barriers should inform program design and policy decisions. Reducing administrative burden and increasing service flexibility allows more time for meaningful client engagement. Equity must remain central to service delivery. Tailored supports for underrepresented groups improve individual outcomes and strengthen the broader labor market. Conclusion: building a resilient labor market together. Predictions of economic risk and labor market uncertainty should serve as a call to action rather than a cause for alarm. Canada's workforce has demonstrated resilience through previous disruptions, and it can do so again with coordinated effort. By investing in skills, supporting inclusive employment, strengthening partnerships, and using data to guide decisions, governments, employers, job seekers, and employment service providers can navigate uncertainty with confidence. For Job Skills and its partners, this moment reinforces the importance of collaboration, adaptability, and a shared commitment to helping people succeed in work. The challenges ahead are real, but so are the opportunities to build a more resilient, inclusive, and future-ready labor market.